Kiki's doing a great job. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. This could probably go on for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's really going to make a difference with Barry?
No.
He's kind of setting his way. Yeah, they're going to go round and around and around. Now, you played Barry 167 times.
This was 168.
This is 168. How many times out of that has Barry ended up with a handshake or something?
Counting today?
Include today, yeah.
0.
Okay.
Sure.
So there you go. It's not going to go anywhere. And as great as Kiki's handling it, as much as he's listening, as much as he's maintaining a safe environment for himself, all right, giving him feedback and asking for some pushback that is just garbage, a lot of it, right? It's still not going to end the handshake. That's just how it's going to be with that. All right. So even though he's doing a great job, thank Kiki for coming up.
All right, let's talk about outcomes. You know what? For somebody who wasn't going to come up in the beginning, he did good. He did good. All right. First, let's talk about Brenda and Chuck. Okay. Team 2, you don't get to vote. All right. Teams 1 and 3. Did Brenda have a safe communication environment? Was she safe when she talked to Chuck? Yeah. I don't mean safe from his ire. I mean, did she have a psychologically safe communicating environment that she created? Okay. Were you nervous, Brenda?
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't always feel safe, did you?
Today?
In that scenario.
Yeah, I just don't like doing that.
Okay. Because it doesn't make you feel safe. It's threatening. It's stressful. Am I right? Yeah. But she didn't show that. She maintained a safe communicating atmosphere, right? Was she calm and clear as she talked to Chuck? Okay. Did she have a plan? Did she have things that she wanted to communicate to Chuck to help resolve the situation? She was flexible in her options, but I heard her willingness to apologize and own part of the problem. I heard her willingness to adjust his schedule so that he could get the safety training that he needed. I heard her willingness to addend the write-ups. So she had data points that she wanted to cover with. Did she listen attentively? Did she give indications that she was hearing what he said? Okay. Was there some kind of a handshake at the conclusion of that discussion? None? Yeah. Yeah. Did you give him a thumbs up?
That was when he said I was married.
I'm sorry?
Chuck has issues too.
Chuck, everybody has issues. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. The point is, using the model though, we make the decision not to let the other person's issues get in the way. We make that decision. That's part of creating and maintaining that safe communicating environment. Did Brenda approach Chuck on an equal status level, equal high status level? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the outcomes from Chuck's point of view. Chuck, are you going to walk out of here today saying Barry did it again?
Yeah.
What? Oh, sorry. I slipped back into it. Okay. My supervisor didn't support me. Are you going to say that?
No, not at all.
Okay. So that goes away. You're going to walk out of here today saying I can't move up?
I'm going to put a question mark around it. Because I still don't know. It's still, I have to wait and see.
Here's the thing. For 6 weeks, trust has been eroded between these two people. A single conversation is not going to completely restore that trust. We've got a step made, but Chuck is going to want to wait and see if any of this stuff really happens. Okay? So we put a question mark. My caring is useless. Still holding that?
I still need to see. I want to believe her, but I still have to see what she does. Okay.
Are you adamantly hating your job at this point?
No, I'm not hating my job.
You're going to quit?
I'm not.
Not in the short term.
Right.
So, teams 1 and 3. Did this turn out better than the last time you saw Chuck deal with the supervisor? Is it likely, especially if Brenda follows through, Is it likely that the next time Chuck and Brenda have to deal with each other on an issue related to work, that it's going to go at least this well, if not better? Especially if she follows through, right? So we got a yes to both questions, which means that Team 2 effectively used the model to make some incremental change in Chuck's and Brenda's work environment. They've begun to change their climate. Well done. Well done.
I do want to say
Now,
this.
here's a point. Rob, go ahead.
I do want to say this. Brenda, thank you for coming up. I was very tough on you, and I know that. And you know, and I was kind of wondering how it was going to play out. And the reason it worked out so well was because one of the things that Brenda did excellent job of was the pushback. I mean, you really sincerely asked questions. You know, look, this is what I can do for you. Okay. You know, this is what I'm willing to work on with you. How do you feel about it? And she waited and she listened to what I had to say. You know, and that goes a long way with just letting people give you their feedback. You know, there was a lot of trust that had gone. I didn't feel like she was listening to what I was saying for a long time, and when she finally was able to do that, it made a huge difference. I mean,
the other thing I found effective in what she did was remove him from the situation to talk to you one-on-one.
I cannot tell you.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you the train wreck that it is, and we've seen it many times over the sessions that we've done. When a supervisor steps into that situation and tries to sit the two of them down together and have a talk, okay? It's an absolute disaster. Okay, so that was a good part of the strategy. But Rob's point is a very good one, because it reminds me to emphasize with you that the parts of the model, we call them elements for a reason. They're not steps. They're not sequence dependent. It is entirely possible, and you'll frequently find this happening, that you'll go back and forth between some of the elements during a single conversation. You might present the person with three options. They'll push back, and you'll listen to them as they indicate why one or the other of those is completely unacceptable. Then you might go back with three modified options, or they might present you with two or three options. So the process continues. These are not steps necessarily, but they are elements. And they continue to allow us to keep that equal high status going, because we're presenting reasonable information, we're listening. That's the process. All right? Now let's talk a little bit about Barry and Kiki. All right? Kiki, were you getting a little frustrated? No, you don't care. He's cool. The thing about Barry, and we all agree that there are Barrys in the organization. You are never, ever, ever going to get a Barry to go with this willingly. You're just not. The thing you have to remember, though, even though we can't do anything about the Barrys in the short term, we cannot let them drive the bus. We cannot let the Barrys control or define or even influence unnecessarily our work environment. And that's what's happening today. We've got to find a way to deal with those Barrys. We're going to talk about that specifically